First of all, I would like to thank you very much for the invitation to participate in the final CARE conference and for being able to comment on your findings. It has been a real pleasure to follow the successful development of this research, and it's impressive to see now how you bring together findings from 11 European countries with different ECC traditions and from different study designs and strands of work. I think those findings are not only relevant for European countries, but since you actively engage with existing studies and findings from other regions, they can be relevant beyond. The conference provided a useful platform to discuss your findings with other stakeholders, policymakers, and researchers, so as to provide an initial idea of how your findings can be taken up and be useful in practice. What I take home from this conference are, of course, your key findings on quality, but also more specifically on equity and diversity issues. With regard to quality, not all of the findings that you have are very surprising, but it's important to see to what extent they are also confirmed in a European context. I very much appreciate the discussion on the benefits and limitations of existing instruments to assess ECC quality in different contexts, which is a very timely discussion for the OECD, as we are currently considering similar issues in our development of the first ever international ECC staff survey, the TALIS Starting Strong Survey. This survey will look into professional and pedagogical practices, process quality, professional development, and the like, and will be published in 2019. It is therefore interesting for us to see what you find regarding process and structural quality factors. For instance, that you find that for child outcomes, variations in staff qualifications may matter more than variations in environmental arrangements, that staff qualifications and professional development opportunities are linked to higher process and curriculum quality, and that professional development also matters for children's development and outcomes, so confirming research from the US. It's also good to illustrate those findings with the examples of innovative professional development that you provide. Of course, you also find, and this is important, that very unfavorable combinations of structural aspects may lead to low level of process and curriculum quality. With regard to the outcomes of children, it is good to have this closer look that you provide, saying that what matters for literacy outcomes may not be the same that what matters for math outcomes, so that global process quality fosters literacy outcomes, while pre-academic promotion could be more beneficial for math outcomes. And I think it's also valuable to put this into perspective through your stakeholder study to really see what parents and what staff cherish in terms of promoting certain skills, and that maybe parents emphasize hard academic skills or pre-academic skills more than staff members. This is also relevant for the OECD, as we are currently developing a new project for the coming 2 to 4 years that will look into quality dimensions. So we're very much looking forward to seeing your final reports concerning key dimensions of structural and process quality, as well as learning more about the framework and the mapping of European quality indicators that you're in the process of developing. The discussion on diversity is also very timely because, as you know, it's not only a European issue that more and more children with a migration background are in many ECC centers across the OECD. And we're also, with the TALIS Starting Strong survey, exploring new data on staff beliefs and practices with regard to diverse environments. But your points on diversity are also relevant for the important discussion on targeted versus universal ECC provisions and potential combination of both. In some countries, you find that children from disadvantaged backgrounds experience higher, whereas in other countries they experience lower quality than their peers. This is, of course, of great policy interest, and they're, of course, also a reason of concern in some countries. Your findings are also relevant when we think about outreach and practices regarding diversity, because you find that different stakeholders have different views on diversity and inclusiveness, so there may be a need to think about professional development in this regard. Also, you find that different groups of families from different backgrounds may expect different things from ECC and what it brings to their children. So this is something that may be important to consider when communicating with parents and to bridge expectations of different stakeholders regarding ECC. I think there are still a lot of open and interesting open questions, but I think You've done an excellent job on this project, and I congratulate you to the successful conference and wish you all the very best for the finalization and dissemination of your important work.